Memphis is the home of the blues, rock and roll, and Earl Farrell.
From the Collierville Square to the mighty Mississippi, the Earl Farrell for Memphis show is all about good things that happen across the Bluff City and the people who make Memphis cool.
The Earl Farrell for Memphis show is made possible by our title sponsor, Southern Security Federal Credit Union,
Jim Karras Chevrolet with George Gully, For Memphis Magazine, the Live at the Garden concert series, and the Orpheum Theater Group Memphis, and by Mitch Wright Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, family owned and operated for more than 40 years. And brought to you by High-Low Commercial Services, owned by the cleanest man in the world, and by Walker Auctions, LLC. When it's time to sell, Walker Auctions doesn't fiddle around. Thank you to all the sponsors for making this possible.
And now, coming to you from Lansky Brothers, Clothier to the King, inside the world-famous Peabody Hotel with the heart of a cowboy and Memphis in his soul. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host, Earl Farrell.
And thank you very much, and welcome into Lansky's here at the Peabody. And earlier this week, they opened a new area at the Peabody. Actually, it was 2 floors that existed before, but they went into those 2 floors and made a club out of it, a VIP club for folks that want the very best in luxury. And we took a tour and also interviewed Kelly Brook, who is the head of PR here, about what will be in the new 2-floor penthouse apartments and rooms. So here we go.
Oh, you want to see? What do you want there?
Or I'll tell you what.
Video? We want slides?
Let's go ahead and we'll show the slides first. And this is Doug Brown, who is the president of the Peabody Entertainment Group, and looking down the hall there. And then this is the presidential suite, and it is very well appointed. It looks like somebody's house, except a very nice house. Here's another view of it. This is the bedroom. This is not the penthouse. This is just one of the rooms here. And then this is the bathtub in one of the rooms, which is a big freestanding, of course, it's not big enough for me. I couldn't get in that bathtub. And if it did, there wouldn't be water left because it'd all slosh out the minute I got in. But it's just beautiful appointments and just incredible. And now here's Kelly.
Okay.
This is the Pembroke Club. It is a new 33-room hotel on top of the Peabody Hotel or within the Peabody Hotel. It is a luxury hotel experience, and it feels very private and exclusive. It is a private access floor only for guests on this floor. And you get breakfast, including an omelet station and fresh squeezed orange juice, snacks and drinks throughout the day. And then in the evening, there's happy hour with hors d'oeuvres, all freshly daily made hors d'oeuvres from our culinary staff. We have our own team up here just for these 33 rooms. We have its own general manager, its own concierge team, its own cooks and housekeepers. So it is a exclusive experience where you can have a stay that is curated just for you.
And welcome back. And we now have 2 guests in the studio here in Lansky's. Ramsey Clark, who was a volunteer coach of the Boys Club 40 years ago, and his young protege, Cornelius Sanders, who was a young man that came there to figure out what's going on at the Boys Club. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you.
And you've written a book together as a result of those. If you want to hold that up, Ramsey, and show them the cover of it. The Color Blind is the name of it, and it's about their relationship that started 40 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it's an incredible story, but yet not that incredible because we all have friends that we've grown up with, and they come from all walks of life. And it's interesting to me, because I'm 75, who the people that I'm still friends with from when I was in Little League Baseball. And really some of the best relationships of your life were made in those early years when you were a young man and didn't know anything, and you get involved with things, and that becomes your base for the rest of your life. Ramsey, let's start with you. How did you first come to get to know each other?
Sure. So really started when I was at East High Public Schools. And in the 5th grade, my best friend happened to be a black guy, black student, and it had nothing to do with race. He brought bubble gum to school every day.
So he was your pal.
Yeah, anybody brings gum is my pal. But I noticed, Earl, that students, we were predominantly white in the 60s and 70s. Students and, believe it or not, teachers alike, they treated my friend differently. I wasn't surprised about the students. We all grew up, and really all we knew is the environment we grew up in, the comments our parents and siblings made. But the teachers, who were adults, we were fifth graders, it surprised me that they didn't treat my friend the same as they treated the white students. So I made a commitment as a fifth grader, as an 11th, 11 years old, that when I had the wherewithal, getting out of school, getting out of college, I was going to do something about the injustice I saw. So I get out of University of Tennessee in '79, and I go, okay, I got to make good on my commitment. Well, it wasn't a very sophisticated move, but I had played ball at East. So I had never coached, but I figured I played. I ought to be able to coach.
You teach something.
Teach something. So I contacted the Boys Club and said, hey, I'm 22 years old. I played ball at East. Do you need any coaches? Thinking, they may not need me. Oh, they fell over themselves. Do we need coaches? So that was really kind of the backstory of how I found myself coaching at the Boys Club.
I can imagine, too, the boys you were coaching were predominantly black, is where the Boys Club is, and that's why it's there. But that they're sitting there going, here's our new coach. He's white. He can't play basketball. Then you have to show them that you do, that you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is that, Cornelius, how old were you when you first met Ramsey?
Right. So I was 14 when I first met Ramsey, and that's exactly what we said, And you remember the movie White Man Can't Jump. So
Absolutely,
we was thinking, we could show this guy a bunch of stuff,
Had you been a member of the Boys Club your whole youth?
Yes. So I started out at the Dixie Homes Boys Club. So I grew up in the housing development Dixie Homes.
Sure.
And then my mom bought a house over at Summer and Homes in '78. So then I joined the Ira Samuelson's Boys Club.
So many kids during that time, and even now, though, have single parents.
Mm-hmm.
And for a young man, that is really difficult. And even though my dad was at home, he never played football or baseball. So I kind of had to figure it out for myself, and I didn't do a very good job. I made the Little League baseball team because I was faster than anybody, but I had no other skills. Mm-hmm. I couldn't hit. I couldn't catch. But the great thing about basketball is you learn from the other kids.
Right.
When you first start out. And then you maybe learn some bad things, and you learn some stuff that you could improve on. But that's where the coach really comes in and says, let me show you how you can do that better.
That is true, because there's been many times that we came thinking we knew it and knew what to do, and Ramsey would actually put us out of practice. And I remember one day we had a store across the street, and I had a few dollars, so I sat on the steps and ate some Reese's Pieces because I got put out of practice.
I say, well, I'll make the best of this.
Right.
When did the friendship begin? Was that something that slowly developed? I mean, because at first the coach is a coach.
That's true. So it was a coach-player relationship, and then after a few years, we kind of stayed in touch, and then it turned into a friendship. It went from mentorship to friendship, and that's kind of where we are today. That's lasted this long.
Yeah, and it even started you started at age 14 when. Maybe at age 15, maybe our second season, Treadwell, where Cornelius went to school, had a prom, and he and a couple of players teamed up on Coach Ramsey and said, hey, we would really like to impress our dates if our moms drive us not too cool.
If we had a chauffeur.
hey, or better yet,
Yeah, or better yet.
if you gave us the keys.
Yeah. Will you give us the keys? I thought, hey, I'm a new coach. I'm trying to make an impression. Sure, here are the keys. And I was proud of that Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo.
And I was having dinner the night of their prom. I had delivered the keys, and we were with another couple, and Karen, my wife, said, oh, you got to hear this. Guess where Ramsey's car is? And I told them, and they said, are you out of your mind? You will never see that car again. And then I started thinking,
They may be right.
maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. So even before Cornelius played for me for 4 seasons, so from 14 to 18, I think. And then our friendship took off. But even before that, there was the beginning of a trust.
That's what I was going to say is the trust factor. Similar thing happened to me in Boy Scouts. We were like 15, 14, and we were driving to Boy Scout camp down the big Davis Mountains in Texas. So it was about a 3-hour drive. As soon as we got outside the city limits of Odessa, he goes, who wants to drive first? We get to drive? He said, yeah. So we're here with 12, 13-year-old kids looking at it.
Right.
And drove all the way to the ranch and back. And we never forgot that because it meant he trusted us more than our parents did. And that makes an impression that does last a lifetime.
That sure does. So, and that's true. So we had those keys to that car and went to the prom, and he did see it again. But developing that trust, like with my mom. So of course he was the only white guy that I knew, and I was spending a lot of time with him. So my mom was making sure that, one, that I did the right thing with him, but he did the right thing by me.
Yeah.
So it goes, that's a two-way street.
Well, that's what they tell the big brothers, big sisters, is that, you're entering their life and their family's life by being their friend. You can't just stick your toe in and say, it's a little too hot for me or too cold. This is a relationship that will continue, and that helps them build trust in other people for the rest of their lives, that people will come into your life and they stay.
Absolutely, and the reverse is true too. I remember perhaps after the first practice, it probably was a Tuesday, and I said, all right, we'll see you Thursday. And the kid came up to me and said, hey, Coach Clark, thank you very much.
Wow.
And I went, he said it in a manner like he would never see me again. And I said,
Like
hey.
this is a one-stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I said, you're going to see me Thursday. I mean, thank you for the compliment of coaching, but I'll be here Thursday. He said, no, you won't. I said, what do you mean, no, I won't? We've had a lot of coaches come and go, and like you said, Earl, sticking your toe in the water, it might be too hot. And he said, I don't know why it is, whether they think it looks good on a resume, or we're rougher than they imagine, or we speak, harsher than they imagine, but they don't come back, and neither will you. I said, hey, pal,
I'll be here.
Thursday. And I did for 10 years.
Wow.
But that made an impression that consistency was something.
Well, it's really everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it builds character in the kids that see you do it, because they see what real leadership is, and that's being there for them. You don't have to be a genius or the best basketball player in the world, just being there. And you mentioned in your book that showing up is more than half the battle.
Absolutely.
And saying, because you look at all these Gen Xers now that go to work one day and then somebody yells at them and they don't come back. And you go, hey, people are going to yell at you the rest of your life.
Right.
You just got to look at them and go, okay, what do you want me to do?
Yeah, and the actions always speak louder than words. I could have told that player, I'll be here Thursday, but until he saw my actions,
That you were there.
that I was there in 10 more years. Yeah, the words are hollow until the actions follow up.
Cornelius, did he also, as a mentor, you obviously asking about other things in life as you would go to practice? Let me ask you something. I'm
That's
going
true.
through this. And he was always there for you in that respect.
He was, and it was never scripted. That was one thing. We never set out to say, I'm gonna go to Boys Club looking for a mentor.
Yeah.
We went to play basketball, so it did happen like that because he was in the food service business, and I was taking food service classes in the VOTEC, and wanted to be a chef and needed a job. So of course I would come to him and ask about referrals and possibilities about places that I could go and work and apply for jobs.
Well, you mentioned you didn't have any other white friends either.
Oh,
so this is the one white person you could say, what the hell are y'all thinking? You know,
Right,
I want to
right.
know how you think, and I'll tell you how I think. And I think that's how you both become friends, is because what you figure out is you're really just alike. Everybody's pretty much alike.
That is true. And with the whole race reconciliation piece, I was going back to a community that didn't have a lot of white friends or white influence. And Ramsey was going back to where there was no blacks or African Americans. And we often talked about around the table, the dinner table, we wasn't going to talk about white people and the things that they were or wasn't. And I was able to say to them, but I know a guy that is nothing like what we've seen, heard, or have experienced before. So I think that not only helped me, but that helped my family to see that there's good people in the world no matter what color they are.
And there really are.
Yeah.
And they're right here in Memphis, all over the place. And everybody talks about the crime, but the crime affects us all.
Yes.
I mean, nobody's immune to it. And it doesn't just affect geographic area, it's pretty much everywhere. But what I figured out is, as I've interviewed millions of people over the years, is everybody wants the same thing. They want to have a happy life. They want to have their family and have their family safe. They want to be able to eat every night and have lunch and breakfast for their kids and lead a safe life and be prosperous. And everybody wants that. Nobody will ever say they're against it.
No, and I think a caveat, Earl, is that Cornelius, I think, knew me after 4 seasons well enough that he wasn't going to come to me and say, hey, Ramsey, or coach, or whatever you're calling me at that point, will you get me a job? Because he knew the answer, no way, I'm not going to get you a job. Will I introduce you to somebody? Sure. And I figured, well, the way job interviews go, this is going to be a process. We'll talk to some people. We'll wait to hear back from them. First place we went was a racket club of Memphis, and I introduced Cornelius to Chef Gary. I do remember that from all those years ago, who was the executive chef of the racket club, and told him our history, and he offered Cornelius a job, which he accepted on the spot. And I guess my point is, I didn't give Cornelius a job. He handled himself like a 18, 19-year-old young man by looking Chef Gary in the eye, by shaking his hand. So it was no, I just cracked the door.
But you obviously had skills. Is it probably your mom that told you, look
That's
people in
true.
the eye, shake your hand,
Shake your hand.
make
Right.
firm in it, and call the person you're talking to by their name?
That's correct. And also the Boys Club helped with that because
Did
we
they?
had Toastmasters and we had some other people that was college-age guys that came in that had experience that would share with us. And it was more than just rolling out a basketball and we came for fun. There was activities that we had that still sticks with me today.
Well, it kept you out of trouble.
And definitely did
I mean,
that.
you were hanging out with other guys that didn't want to get in trouble, who had moms and dads, or a mom or a dad that said, you're not going to hang out on the street. You're
Right,
going to be
right.
someplace. You need to get a job. But you're also very well spoken. That meant your parents and brothers and sisters were also taught to be well spoken at the dinner table.
Right.
And all of that played a big part in you getting that first job on the very first meeting.
That's true. That's true. And you got so many other people behind you that are counting on you. So the fact that that door was open, I had to make everybody proud. You know, I couldn't go in there and just flop. And then what would the guys say at the boys club? Or what would Chef Gary say about Coach Ramsey sending this guy? What were you thinking? You know, so.
What do you both want to have people come away from reading this book?
Yeah, I think our last chapter, Earl, is about community engagement, and we're very intentional about not just telling a fun basketball story, but saying, here's what we did. We're a couple of basketball guys. You don't have to be basketball. You don't have to be sports. But we all have something in our DNA that we can share. You might be a teacher. Go 1 hour a week, volunteer in the inner city, go to the Boys Club, go to a church, go to a school, and teach a third grader how to read. So you won't become a statistics where prisons are built for him because the statistics indicate.
They get shut out of life.
That's exactly right. If you're a musician, and we have examples in the book, a musician said, hey, the only people I teach are people whose parents can afford private lessons, and that's fine. When I go into the inner city and teach a kid who can't afford it but is all in, that's what I enjoy. I have a Purple Heart Marine who says to his fellow vets, hey, we served overseas. We served our country overseas. Let's serve some young people in our own backyard. So community engagement is a real theme.
And in that case of the Purple Heart Marine, it really is about the things they learned as Marines that they can teach, which are fundamental to every person out there, because it's about showing up, doing your job, being well organized, and all the really great traits. As my dad used to say, every kid should go into the military because it teaches you things you don't get anywhere else, and it's done uniformly. Cornelius, with you, because you had, and I think we all do, as we look back on our childhood, we had met people that were key influences in our life. You think, how lucky was I to have been there? And then, so as you move through life, what were the things that you can look back on now that say that really helped you for the rest of your life?
Right. Well, one was consistency. Dependability, because you grow up in a community and a time with people that are in and out of your life, and they say they'll be here tomorrow and not. But those things were key to me, and just showing up and listening. And it's not all about you. Let's listen and see what someone else's need and how you can come alongside of them.
Well, and I think you're a good example. What do you do for a living now?
So I'm the executive director of Promise Development Corporation, and we house formerly homeless individuals. We do affordable housing as well as economic development.
So you are continuing to give back.
That's great.
And was that a big influence on you, the way you grew up, and that you did have a family, you did have a house, but you had friends that didn't?
That's true. And again, I lived in Dixie Homes till I was 12, so we was renting in the housing projects. And the fact that my mom could buy a duplex, and so that you cut a hole in the middle and you got 2 kitchens and 2 living rooms and all of that. But that Saturday, I got an older brother that's 8 years older than I. him and my mom went to get the U-Haul truck. And man, I can't tell you how excited I was to be able to fill that truck up and go to a place that we called our own. So I said then, real estate is the thing I wanted to be in. And if I can help anybody else feel this joy that I felt on my own place, my own yard, nobody could come and kick me out or do anything. So I wanted to give back in that way. And I thank God that I've been able to do that over and over again.
Well, and to getting out of the projects, your neighbors were a lot better. Mm-hmm. I can remember driving through Foot Homes after we covered some story there, and there were several guys in a group standing around passing a quart bottle of beer around and smoking a joint. They go, "Hey, Earl, come on over." And I go, "I'm working, guys.
I'm working."
But the thing is, that was the environment.
Yeah.
And it was always there. And the fact that you were around it but didn't succumb to it, that is the biggest fear every parent has. How do I get my kid out of here before they get their claws into my kid?
Right.
Or the kid says, "Hey, they've all got great sneakers. How come I don't?" Because there is a difference between the kids who steal and the kids that don't. The kids that don't steal have cheap shoes because that's what your parents could afford. And the ones that had all the style, you knew where they were getting.
Right.
And it's a huge temptation for a kid to go, but it's one of the stealing and lying is those two things in life that you can't ever do just once.
Right. And you guys will remember this about that, of having a job. And, of course, you're too young to have a real job. So I used to sweep hair up in
the
barbershop.
Yeah.
So I would do that, and then I got a paper route. And so I was 9 with my first paper route. And I remember my mom had to go with me to collect my money because they wouldn't pay you. So I was like, okay, I go home, ride my bike.
She was the enforcer.
There you go. So then I grew up with that hard work, go out and earn what it is that you want. And so the 3 or 4 of us that would hang out, that's what we did. We just went and got jobs.
And have all those guys, your buddies, have they all done well in life?
A couple of them, So we still have some that life ended far too soon, and others we don't even know about. But there's 2 of us that we do know and keep in touch.
It's almost like being in Vietnam or Afghanistan. Somebody says you never know who's going to go early, and there is no rhyme or reason other than the basics give you a huge advantage in going the distance. And your mom should be very proud of you, and your coach should be very proud of you.
I am.
And you said in the last chapter that the things you want for people to come away from this is it does change your life to give.
Absolutely.
And for the rest of your life it did, and you made a friend for life.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the only other thing I would say is we had a website. We're not social. We're out of that age group. We had a website built for us, Colorblind 901, that was done by a professional. It's well done. It gives a lot of backstory. It gives where you can purchase a book, Amazon, Barnes Noble.
I was going to ask you where you can get it.
Yeah, novel bookstore. We had a book signing there, and they sold out.
Great.
So that was exciting. One person came up to us and said, "I guess I can buy a book at the counter." I said, "Oh, I'm sure you can." They went up there.
Sold out.
So that
Let me get your name and number.
Right. Yeah.
I guess the other big advantage is that it's really a good thing you treated him good as a youngster, because he's a rather large man now. And if there was any reckoning, he could have come back and said, "Remember me?"
Right. Me and my buddies.
Exactly. Well, I've always told him I'm 8 years his senior, so he has to have my back. I'm aging. If I need an enforcer, you're it.
Well, I always say, always be nice to everybody on the way up, because you will see them again on the way down. It could be you going down or them going down, but you will see them again.
Absolutely.
So be good to everybody is a basic law. Well, thank you both so much for coming on and sharing this.
Thank you.
Your story and your book. And thank God for both of you.
Thank
you. You're doing good and passing the word. And that's part of the ritual, too.
Yeah, thanks, Earl.
Thank you. We could take a break, hear from our sponsors, and then we're going to have Clint Walker coming in, and we'll talk about how to buy a house online through an auction. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Dawn Grader, President and CEO of Southern Security Federal Credit Union at our new headquarters here in Collierville, Tennessee, off by Hillier Road. We are the proud presenting sponsor of the Earl Farrell for Memphis show and are looking forward to a great 2026 where some of the shows will be hosted from our new headquarters location here in Collierville.
Hello, Memphis Mid-South. And first, I'd like to thank you for visiting with Earl Farrell Memphis today, and we want to support him just like you do. I'm George Gully, one of the sales managers at Jim Carey Chevrolet. We've been in business here in Memphis for over 75 years. I've been associated with the company for almost 25, and I'll help you find the right car, truck, or SUV here at not only our Chevy store, but also Buick, GMC, Nissan, Subaru. We can help you find that right car. Keep watching, Earl, and come see me. Thanks so much.
Hi, I'm Mitch Wright.
And I'm his son, Mickey.
And we're the owners of Mitch Wright Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And proud sponsors of the Earl Farrell for Memphis show.
We're thankful to be part of the Memphis community. We've been in business for 42 years, taking care of people and loving the people of the Mid-South.
Hi, I'm Jamison Totten, the director of Live at the Garden and the Radiance Amphitheater.
Hi, I'm Olivia Wall. I'm the director of marketing communications at the Memphis Botanic Garden. And now the rescheduled date for Alabama, September 3rd.
Next we have Cool in the Gang and Patti LaBelle on September 18th. Our last show will be a great show. So come on out, bring your cooler, your friends, your drinks and your food, and have a great time at Live at the Garden under the stars.
Hi, I'm Brett Batterson, President and CEO of the Orpheum Theater Group in downtown Memphis. We are so pleased with our partnership with the Earl Farrell Show and very happy that he is broadcasting live from Lansky's at the historic Peabody Hotel. We're all here to make Memphis better.
This is Lance Walker, Fast Talker, selling this nice home at online auction in Eads, Tennessee. That's Fayette County. Take a look. We see a spacious open area, kitchen, living area to the side. This was remodeled, so a lot of this is new. Half bath. Then we come to the 2 bedrooms. Both have nice closet areas. You've got a full bath between them. Second bedroom. Master bedroom in the rear. Large walk-in closet. The master bath with the walk-in shower. And there's a basement. We have a covered porch, a great view of the backyard. The house sits on a little over 1 acre. You can give me a call, Lance Walker, 901-493-1936. Remember, when it's time to sell, Walker Auctions doesn't fiddle around.
Hospitals ask him for advice. Janitors ask him for autographs. He once cleaned a mirror so well it became a window. He once cleaned a subway pole, and crime dropped 40%. He has never once read the instructions on a bottle of shampoo. The shampoo already knows what to do. Even bleach thinks he overdoes it a little. Soap companies use him as the control group. Even his shadow practices good hygiene. He once cleaned a public restroom. Now it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. His laundry detergent contains 0% chemicals, just a photo of him on the bottle. He once coughed in a hospital, and everyone got healthier. The CDC occasionally calls him for backup. The 5-second rule doesn't apply around him. He organized a junk drawer so well, it's now a museum. He is the cleanest man in the world.
I don't always drink, but when I do, even the ice cubes feel disinfected.
Mr. Clean, I love those spots. Joining me now is Lance Walker with Walker Auctions, LLC, and welcome back to Lansky's.
Earl, it's good to be here.
And that jacket,
Hey,
you wore it on the air, and then you said, "I'm buying this thing."
This is me. This is my benefit auction jacket. I'm looking forward to wearing this and have a little Elvis with me, a little landscape.
Oh yeah,
everywhere I go. Yeah.
You say, and you just have to, I brought Elvis with me. Open up
the jacket. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's so cool. In the promo I put up today about you coming on, I said, "Have you ever thought about buying a house online?" And most people said, "Well, I buy socks and underwear. Maybe I should take a look at that as well." But the thing about it is, you've actually been doing that for a while.
Yes, we have.
And the advantage of it is you can get a lot of the particulars online before the auction. But then when the auction actually takes place, you don't have to be there. You can watch it all. It's live stream.
Yep, it's all online. And Earl, it's just been a way that some people want to go as opposed to taking a 6-month listing, with an agent.
Yeah.
And that's how most people sell, and I understand that. But there are times when you just, that's not to your benefit to do that. You're on a timeline. Maybe there's been a death in the family. You're settling in the state, or you just need to move quickly. And that's when an auction is something. Give us a call, and we'll tell you if it'll work or not for you. Yeah.
And you do all size auctions. You just had an auction recently in New Orleans.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
And you said you were selling stuff. We didn't even know what the hell it was.
Eric is down there right now today. It's a 5-day pickup, Earl.
That means over 5 days, people will be coming in from all over the country.
Yes, from heavy machinery. It was really a large auction.
So how did you describe something? Now here's an item. It's big.
It's big.
We don't know what it is.
And it's a whatchamacallit, and it's worth a lot of money.
But if you're out there and you know what it is, you know what it's worth.
They do. They know. Anytime we put something up, if we make a mistake, we'll get an email. Hey, that's not a so-and-so. That's a so-and-so. We thank them.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
you want to go ahead and put a bid in for it now? But that is because the people that are interested in those things, they're looking for auctions online.
Yes.
Because everybody's looking for a deal. And this is a deal for the seller and a deal for the buyer.
That's why it works for both, Errol. It really does. And people, you just got to stop and think of how the world has changed with the internet and now online, I can reach anybody, anywhere. Yeah. If you're looking for this jacket and you Google Elvis wedding jacket, boom, this will pop up.
Well, you can even take a photograph now of that jacket and open it up and show what's inside, and it'll tell you where you can get that jacket.
So, Earl, you say that, and we're just now incorporating that in our business. We can, with AI, that machinery down there, we could take a picture, put it in. Here's a model, serial number, everything that you want. Now you have to check it. You can't rely on it.
Because it does make mistakes.
It does make mistakes, especially model numbers, things like that. So, but it's amazing at the time that it saves you.
I saw a thing on an ad for an app the other day that you can take a picture of a plant in your yard or a weed and say, my weed's dying. What can I do? That weed is a X-ray weed, and this is what you do to keep it going.
Oh, I like to fly fish, and so I saw one yesterday about insects. It identifies different insects
for fly fishing.
Yeah, because if you're fly fishing, that's the whole thing. What kind of insects are flying?
Do they like?
They like?
Yeah.
And you look around, you see that. Take a picture of it. It'll tell you what it is.
But the thing is, and that's what I want to try to get across to people, is how much work goes into one of your auctions.
It's an incredible amount of work. We have 6 auction managers, and they all do a great job. It's very tedious in getting the descriptions, and then we have to take a lot of pictures. For example, if we were selling your notebook computer there, we'd want the front, the back, get the serial number. It's a lot goes into it. Yeah.
That's like when I went to work for the sheriff's office, and I went out with some of the deputies and spent the day with them. And I'm like, you got to do an awful lot of paperwork. I never would have lasted there. You got to write all this stuff down. I said, you can't just arrest people and not have details,
I was talking with a customer here back there, and when people find out you're an auctioneer, then, of course, say, oh, can you do that thing? Can you sell? Which I love to do, but now most of my time is spent behind a computer.
So the fun part is the auction part for you.
That is the fun part. Calling bids. We still do a lot of benefit auctions for help charities raise money. Those are live auctions. Love doing them. But now online is just dominating what we're doing. Yeah.
And you go worldwide, not even just in this country. It's worldwide.
Absolutely. People in South Africa can bid, and England, and anywhere. All you got to do is just Google what you're wanting.
Yeah.
Boom, it pops up.
And if there's something, and you put it up on the internet saying we're having an auction, these are the kind of items there, then when your search goes out, it will pick that up.
That's right. The thing you got to remember, Earl, is it's there forever.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I guess if you look Earl Farrell up, there will be a thing in there about how I was suspended from the sheriff's office for making a comment on social media.
Earl, it could have been worse. What if it was back when you were a teenager?
Oh, or just when I was single. Don't need any of that getting out. But the thing is, it does last forever.
It lasts forever. Whatever you put on there.
Yeah. And so keep that in mind, young people.
Really, like if you're a business person and you post on Facebook and you get too far left or right or whatever, it's not going to help your business.
No. In fact, I'd learned doing radio that when I moved my show to Lansky's or the Peabody, I said, we're not doing politics anymore. I want everybody to watch.
Well, Earl, you did that for so long, but you made that switch, and what I like about your show is it's positive.
Yeah, and it's about Memphis, but it really is about the world and that's what I try to tell everybody about why I have all different kinds of people on, like the guests previous to you. There are so many great people here doing great things.
Yes.
And unfortunately, the news media, they don't have a slot for that.
That's a good way to put it. There's not a slot for it. But Errol, here in Memphis, we see that. I mean, we have people all over the world come here. They got to see Elvis's house. They want to see Lansky's.
Well, they come in
go
here,
down Bill Street.
And I ask all of them, so how you liking your visit to Memphis? We love Memphis.
Yeah.
I have not had one person go, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because everybody here is so hospitable to everybody. Yeah. And wherever you go, restaurants. And so and everybody has crime. Dallas, Fort Worth, Chicago. They've all got it. So if everybody started concentrating more on the positives, just like my two guests earlier, I mean, what they did with their lives is a very positive thing, and yet they're not on the news.
No.
And they wrote a book, and it's out there. But those are the lessons that make people, all people, better.
Yeah, and that's one thing, and we've talked about this before, but, my wife Terry's making a documentary about auctioneering. And it's a very positive thing about these people who want to be the world champion auctioneer entering the contest. And it's going to be a very positive thing. A little of Memphis is in it, but then we went to South Africa and all kinds of places. So
that's good. I'm really looking forward. You've been working on it over a year.
Over a year, and it's getting there, Earl. Today, I can say they got what's called the almost final version. So
good luck with that.
They're just about ready to.
The more people that you show, the more people you show it to, the more faults they're going to find in it.
Absolutely. The editing is a killer.
So when I used to do a show called My Favorite Restaurant, I said, I'll do all the editing, and if there's anything incorrect, I will change it. But if you just think I'll add something else or take something out because you don't like it, that ain't happening, because they will ask. Everybody's a Cecil B. DeMille's director,
Yeah, they are.
But have your wife and your son and your daughter all involved in the business.
Now we've got I have 3 children. Connor is a commercial real estate agent here in Memphis, but we do auctions whenever he needs one. We'll work together. But Eric is full time with me. Caroline is about half time. I'm doing my best to get her to come and.
She's doing some video work for you. And social media.
She's very good at that.
She is.
Yeah.
Well, and your wife and your son, because that's what I would have done. Because my wife is very detail oriented. I said, "Honey, this is your job. This way, I'm going to go do the show." Check my spelling.
Well, Eric does all he can to get me out of the office, so like being on this show. Yeah, go do that, Dad. That's what you're good at. Let me do the other stuff.
Yeah, no, like my son, we used to play golf together all the time, and finally said, "Dad, I can't watch you play golf. It just ruins my swing." And I'm like, "Well, then I'm quitting then." My son won't even play with me.
But to play golf, you have to do it a lot.
Yeah.
To be good.
Yeah, well, I did it a lot, and it made no difference. The correlation between good and playing often made no. I put handkerchiefs under my arm. I did those breakdown clubs. I bought every gadget in the world. And finally one day I said, "You know what? Some people just can't play golf."
Well, as I season and get older, I have a lot of auctioneers call me for advice. Would you do this or do that? And the main advice I can give them is stay with it. Keep doing it. Learn from your mistakes. You're going to make them, and but don't quit.
Charles Corral told me that when I was a young reporter in Dallas. I interviewed him and said, "Who is it that makes it in this business?" And he goes, "I know this is going to sound very simplistic, but the people who don't quit."
That's right. You have to stay with it. You can be discouraged. You're going to have highs. You're going to have lows. There's going to be a time when you have a lot of money. There's going to be a time when you're needing money. It's just, that's life.
It is.
And stay with it.
And you could have a horrible boss that does terrible things to you and writes you up all the time. Answer the write-up and say, this is what happened, my point of view.
Yes.
And so I dealt with all kinds of stuff. There's not an easy way to make it a living.
You know,
is the other thing.
Right, and that's the way with auctioneering. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. It's a lot of work. But with that work comes reward most of the time. So, but then you have your waste of time. I was sharing today with about my wife drove all the way to Springfield, Missouri to look at this collection, quote, and she was there about 15 minutes and
so
drove back.
What had the guy said? I'm not selling it, or
no,
what?
No,
He
didn't have what he said he had. You know, it was not the quality that.
So, and I told you, I said I'd ask him, "Can I see you outside for a minute? I want to do some explaining to you."
But you know, you have to go.
Yeah.
This thing, but when you get a call, you have to go because you don't know till you get there.
No, in fact, we had a guy one time. We got a call that said this guy had been kidnapped and he'd been missing for 2 days, but he got away from the captors and came home. So this wife called us. I was at Channel 3 then. And said, "But my husband was kidnapped. You got to come talk to him." So I go in there, and he says, "Come on in the bedroom." He's in there like he's recovering from his kidnapping, and he said, "Could you shut the door?" And I shut the door. And he said, "Now listen, what happened was I kind of went off and had a 2-day party, but I couldn't tell my wife that, so I'd appreciate it if you guys just wouldn't report on this." And I said, "Not a problem." So I walked out, and his wife said, "So y'all going to talk to him?" I said, "No, ma'am, you need to talk to him." I didn't throw him under the bus. I just said, "We're not doing a story on this." So it is, it's everywhere. It's just like every story, and I'm sure you hear the same thing when you get ready to auction off stuff. They've got their view and version of what the items are and what they're worth, and then you guys look at it and go,
"We have to be real."
Yeah.
And then sometimes they don't know what they have, Earl. We had occasion once, a little house off of Summer. Terry almost didn't take it. It was just wasn't a lot of quality there, but the lady said, "Make sure you check the attic. There's a box full of comic books up there."
Oh, wow.
Well, one of those comic books brought $35,000.
Wow.
Just the one.
Wow.
It was a Wonder Woman first edition with her on the cover.
Well, you just don't ever
You don't know.
So do you take each of the items that you come up with, and like coins or anything like that, do you post them on, take them through AI?
Everything is posted. The auction lasts for maybe 12 or 15 days. But just like that item like we were talking about, Earl, the guy who bought that was in the Washington, D.C. area, would have never known about it.
If you hadn't posted it.
If we hadn't posted on the internet.
But how did you know that one?
We didn't.
So you listed all of them?
We just put it up, and all of a sudden, the ticker tape goes
ding,
up,
ding, ding,
from
ding.
100 to 1,000 to 2 to 3. What have we got here?
Wow.
Then you do your research. We got something.
Yeah.
So then you market more. We've got a good marketing company we work with, and they pinpoint and found this guy up there, and he drove down. He would not let us ship it.
No.
He drove down.
He
to
knew
pick
it.
up.
He knew how bad the U.S. Postal Service is. Said, "I found it. I ain't losing it right after I find it."
But here's the thing. Of course, the seller was tickled to death. But the buyer said, "I can make money on this."
Yeah. So
who knows?
He's happy. The seller was happy.
Right.
You guys were happy.
Yep.
So that was a happy ending
That
story.
was a happy ending. Yeah.
I'd end up with the funny book that my mother had. I had all these funny books, and she threw them all away along with my baseball cards.
Mine too.
Gave away my electric train to some kids down the street because they didn't have one. I wanted to keep the train. I'd have it today.
Yeah, the Lionel metal trains.
Oh,
worth
yeah.
some money.
Yeah.
Yep.
We had a whole train board set up in our room
Yes, we
with
had that.
houses that lit up and street lights and the whole thing.
Yeah, that was great.
Came back from Canada. It's gone. Well, Lance, you think, give me your phone number so if they want to check you out.
Yeah, Walker Auctions, 901-413-9738. 413-973. That's Terry's number. Don't call me. I'll be fishing.
You hopefully will be fishing. And Terry, we were trying to get her in here. So
She'll be here for long, yes. Yeah, we're going to get her.
We want to check your story with her.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Find out how much fishing you really do. All right.
The website is walkerauctions.com.
All right. Thank you. Always good seeing you, Lance.
Good to see you, Earl.
That's our show for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.